Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you the 7 most common ways to prepare a pair of pointe shoes and what they all do. Number 1, breaking in the shoes. This is probably one of the most common ways of preparing your shoes, and it involves bending and manipulating the sole of the shoe to create more flexibility in the shank and make your foot look more pointed, and then also bending the wing and the top of the vamp of the shoe, because when it's quite rigid and new, it can dig into the foot, and this also will help you with your demi pointe. You can also stand on the shoe to loosen it up and make it a little softer. This might create some dust or dried up glue in the shoe, so shake it all out and make sure the inside is clean. Number 2, sewing the ribbons and the elastics. Well, this is kind of vital, but not all dancers sew ribbons on their shoes. But the most common way is 2 ribbons sewn on the inside or sometimes sewn on the outside of the shoe, and they wrap around the ankle for support. You might also want to add elastics crossing over the top of the shoe. I've not demonstrated this in the video, but it's another fairly common way. However, this gives less support to the ankle. So I've demonstrated sewing an elastic on the heel of the shoe, and this will then loop around the ankle and stop the shoe from sliding off. Number 3, darning. So there are lots of different ways to darn your shoes. I'm going to show a circle just going around the platform of the shoe, as this is a fairly common way to darn. And darning the shoe prolongs the life of your pointe shoe, as well as giving you a wider platform to balance on. So this will make balances and pirouettes easier. Some dancers will fill the whole of the platform, some will just do a circle like I'm demonstrating, and some will do more of like a semicircle, leaving a gap at the bottom. Number 4, burning and varnishing the tips of the ribbons. Well, to stop these ribbons from fraying, there are 2 things you can do. First is burn the edges with a lighter. You want to make sure the ribbon doesn't actually catch fire. You're just going to burn it very quickly, and if you're underage, make sure you get an adult to do this. If you are underage or you don't want to use a lighter, you can use nail varnish. I would either use clear nail varnish or like a light pink, so it matches the colour of the ribbons, and you just want to dab a bit on the end so that the ribbon doesn't fray. Then it's important to leave the ribbons somewhere where they can dry without sticking to anything. So a good way is to pop them over your shoe so they're just hovering off the floor and put them to one side. Number 5, shaving and scoring the sole of the shoe. Shaving the sole of the shoe involves slicing the edge of the outer sole using a knife. You want to press lightly, and you don't want to dig the knife into the shoe, otherwise this will create a dent or like a wedge. The whole point of slicing off the edge of the outer sole is to even out the line between where the silk meets the sole so that you have a smoother platform to stand on. It's crucial to be safe when using a knife, and if you are underage, do not do this yourself. Ask an adult. If you are an adult and you're doing it yourself, make sure the knife is always moving away from your body and that you don't have any thumbs or fingers in the way. I once saw a professional dancer injure herself with a Stanley knife, and well, there was a lot of blood. So please be careful doing this. Scoring the sole of the shoe is a good way to make the pointe shoe less slippery. You're going to make diagonal lines across the top of the shoe, so where the box is. And again, if you're using a Stanley knife, make sure you're always cutting away from the body. You don't have to dig in hard, you're just making a very light line into the shoe. And if you have freeds, you'll see that actually they already do this for you, and there's like a rough patch on the underside of the box. Number 6, modifying the insole. So there are a few different ways of doing this. I'm going to talk first about removing the nail in the insole, which you'll often see in freed shoes like I have here. You can just see the nail poking out. This can sometimes dig into your heel, so you just want to peel off the top layer of the insole and then wiggle out the nail. You might want to use pliers, or you can just use your fingers sometimes. Another way is to cut the insole so that you're left with a 3/4 shank. This will make the shoe a lot more flexible and make your feet look more pointed. I don't do this. Personally, I quite like to use the strength of my foot to press through the sole of the shoe, but this is a really common technique for a lot of dancers. Again, if you're using a Stanley knife, please be careful. Don't do it if you're underage, and place the shoe on a surface. And I would recommend something a bit sturdier than the box I have here. You can also cut it off with a pair of scissors. Number 7, banging the box. Banging the box of the shoe is a noisy one. It involves holding the heel and then bashing the platform or the box of the shoe onto the floor, and this will make the shoes less noisy when you're dancing. It's up to you how long you do this for, but I would probably do it for about 10 to 20 seconds on each shoe. Of course, there are other ways of preparing pointe shoes, for example, like adding jet glue or shellac to the inside of the box to harden the shoe, but this normally happens once the pointe shoes have been worn a couple of times, and it's not usually what we do with a brand new pair of pointe shoes, although of course some dancers do. Also, you might want to pancake the shoes. This involves changing the colour of the silk to match your skin tone. Let me know if you prepare your shoes in a particular way that I've not included in this list. I'm always really interested to hear how dancers prepare their shoes. It's such a personal thing and it varies from dancer to dancer. And thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe and say hi in the comments.